Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist. Thank you very much for participating in the poll. It really helps me figure out the direction of this channel and where we should take it. I put in the poll housing, silver, bonds, and Fed policy. Overwhelmingly, everybody decided that we should cover housing. And I kind of agree. I think it's probably the big topic to talk about right now, although silver is one of my favorite ones, and we will be doing silver videos in the future. But as for right now, I thought I'd bring you this article that I found. Now, it doesn't quite have to deal with the housing market, but I found it quite interesting. And so, since it kind of has to deal with a housing supplier, kind of part of the supply industry, I figured the article would be a little bit, be fairly pertaining to it, and I thought it would be a little interesting to you guys, even though, like I said, it doesn't quite have to deal with the housing market. I just found this quite interesting. So anyway, are you guys familiar with the short squeeze? A short squeeze, if you're not familiar with it, and the simplest that I can explain it is that a shorting of the market is basically where you go to somebody and you borrow some stock from them that you think that is going to drop, right? And so, say for example, you find a stock, you think that it's going to go from $10 to $5. So you borrow the stock from the guy for a fee, you take the stock, you sell it out onto the market, and when it drops down to $5, you buy it back, right? So it went from $10 to $5, you keep the $5 and give him back the stock, essentially, right? That's like the simplest that I can explain it. There's a lot more detail to it and in all kinds of ways that you can short the market, but that's like the simplest that I can explain it. A short squeeze is when people have gotten themselves into that position. Now it's time to buy back the stock and they can't find anybody to buy it from, right? They sold into they sold the stock in there, and now it's time to go back and buy, and you can't. There's none for sale, right? And the price starts going up because people are looking for this stock to buy. And especially if you have a lot of short sellers in the market looking to cover that short position, then you can have what's called a short squeeze, and everybody's running for the door to try and get out of this stock, essentially by buying it and giving it back to the person that they had borrowed it from, or to pick it up at the lowest price possible. And there's nobody selling, right? And the price starts going up, and then pretty soon it starts going over the price that they had paid for it, and now they're stuck because now they're going to end up owing money to try and get this thing back to the people, okay? And that's like a scary position for a lot of people who have sold into the market short, especially if you buy on margin, which means that you borrow the money to do it. Anyway, there's a lot of other people out there who are going to explain that a whole lot better than I can. I hope I got that right. Anyway, this is the stock, right? So again, $120 up here at the very top of it. That was 2014, $10.75 today. This is what this guy had to say coming out of Seeking Alpha, December 7th, 2018 by Arizzi Capital. And it says, heavy buying from big boys. Retail investors have been spooked by the fall and are clearly abandoning the stock. Large funds, on the other hand, have been increasing their holdings dramatically. On November 9th, 2018, Morgan Stanley announced that it had acquired 1.5 million shares in the company. That's 5.3%. In October 2018, Neil Gagnon, portfolio manager and founder of Gagnon Securities, announced a similar position of 5.5% of outstanding shares. Gagnon Securities entities owns a further 969,000 shares. Vanguard Group announced it owns 10% of this company in June of 2018. November of 2018, BlackRock announced that it owns 4.5 million shares of this company, and T. Rowe Price owns another 2.9 million shares. The top 15%, or the top 15 largest holders of this company, own a combined 19.2 million shares of the company, representing 67% of it. Okay, so the retail investors are spooked, one short on this market, saying that it's going to crash or going down, and all the big names, all the smart money essentially has gotten into this thing in a long position, right? And I think they did it intending to squeeze them shorts, right? And they don't have any intentions on selling any of that stock, even though it's going to start flying upward, in my opinion, as these shorts try to cover that position. Anyway, I am not here to give you advice. Please do not buy this stock. If you are looking at my opinion to try and buy stocks, you're probably going to end up losing your money. I am not a stock investor, nor do I give stock advice. This is merely for informational purposes. The name of that company is Lumber Liquidators. So go check that one out. Let me know what's going on with these guys. Maybe somebody out there who's a lot smarter about short squeezes and markets and stuff like that can kind of explain this for us. But I find this incredibly fishy. Stinks to high heaven. All right, guys. Thank you very much, Uneducated Economist. Talk to you later.